Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Dominic Paget, and today we will be discussing the types of prompts that are used in applied behavior analysis and the prompting hierarchy. So, without further ado, let's get the show on the road. First, what is a prompt? In applied behavior analysis, a prompt is a tool that is used to help the learner move from incorrect responses to correct responses. Another way to think about this is that prompts are an instruction. And when you are given or someone else is given an instruction, you would more than likely expect for it to be completed without any difficulties. Individuals with autism spectrum disorder, however, may find that some daily skills exceptionally difficult, such as brushing their teeth or selecting one sock or another. These difficulties in completing these tasks are associated with the deficits that are experienced by this population. Okay, so now let's talk about the types of prompts that there are. There's a visual prompt, verbal prompt, gestural prompt, model prompt, partial physical prompt, and full physical prompt. Okay, guys, let's talk about a visual prompt. A visual prompt is a cue that the learner can use to find the correct answer. For example, if I ask the learner to touch the box with the number 1 inside of it, the learner would look and see that this box has a red outline inside of it and a red number 1 as well as a red star over this answer. As opposed to the number 2, there is only a black outline and it is also the incorrect answer. By having a red number 1, a red outline, and a red star, these are all cues to the learner that this is the correct answer. Now we have verbal prompts. Verbal prompts are generally used when teaching the operants echoics, introverbals, manding, and even social skills. Now, a verbal prompt involves giving the learner the beginning of the answer, if that makes sense, such as saying ready, set, go, and waiting for the learner to finish go. Next, we have a gestural prompt. And this is any type of action that the learner can observe the instructor doing. This can be done with your eyes, pointing, or any other action that can be observed. Here's an example of a gestural prompt. Close the closet. Nice job closing the closet. Next, we have a model prompt. A model prompt involves the teacher demonstrating the skill or a task first for the learner, and then the learner will do the task. Here's an example of a model prompt. Raise your hand. Nice job! Next, we have the two types of physical prompts. One is called partial physical and the other full physical. The partial physical prompt, the instructor assists the learner with a portion of the selected task. And with a full physical prompt, the instructor assists the learner with the whole task by moving their hands. This is called hand over hand. This is an example of a partial physical. Do this. Nice job, you did it! This is an example of a full physical prompt, also known as hand over hand. Do this. Nice! All right, guys. Now that we've gone over the different types of prompts that are visual, verbal, gestural, model, partial physical, and full physical. Together, all of those make our prompting hierarchy. Okay. All right, guys. So now let's talk about our prompting hierarchy. Here, as you can see, is visual, verbal, gestural, modeling, partial physical, and physical. But if you notice on the left side of the screen, it says has an arrow pointing from the top down. It says least to most prompting. What this means are that we are trying to use to teach the learner the least intrusive prompts all the way down to the most intrusive prompts. And in this case, the least intrusive is visual, and the most intrusive is full physical. Most teachers opt for least to most prompting because it is easier than most to least prompting. In a classroom setting, it's easier to ask a student a question and then slowly work your way down the prompting hierarchy as needed. An example of this could be everybody point to the wall. And instead of walking over and individually assisting students and pointing in the wall, the teacher can place a visual prompt on the wall to denote that it is the wall. As opposed to most to least prompting, which you see on the right side, which starts at full physical, partial physical, modeling, gestural, verbal, and visual, and all the way up to independent. Most to least prompting is used to assist the learner in not making errors. Okay? The best way it was put to me is that you would like to have somebody be correct 99% of the time instead of 50% of the time. So with that being said, you would start off with full physical to make sure that they would get it 100% of the time, and then partial physical, modeling, gestural, verbal, visual, all the way up to independent.